It's connected here, then you can sign. Yeah, she has. Oh, she has a copy there? No. See your dog today. So much. All right, I'm gonna call to order. We're running a little late today. 7:09. Which, yeah, maybe. This clock is a little bit. The attendance list is coming around. If you could please make sure and sign. I believe most of it already signed, but if not, if you have not, make sure and let us know that you need to sign. Did everyone get a copy of the December minutes? Yes. Anyone who needs a minute to look over the minutes? No? Okay. Any changes, any corrections?
I can't believe it was that long ago.
I know. Yes.
Or at least.
Yeah, absolutely. Can I get a motion to approve?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes. Support.
Thank you, Cheryl. All in favor? Anyone opposed? All right, moving right along. So we have one commission spot open for this year. Laura very regretfully had to resign. I think we know how busy she had been with her work at the GIA. So she just really felt, even though the Van Gogh exhibit is over, and that's been a huge commitment this year that was very successful, she didn't feel like it was going to slow down much coming forward, just maybe in a different way. So we have been considering applications. I know we have someone who's here who has applied, and I think
We have 3 people.
so Diane, did you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Diane Conkey. I've been a resident of Grosse Pointe Park for 24 years, and I've worked for the city for 14 years, and I recently retired, but I still wanted to be involved in one of the commissions, and I've always had a passion and interest in beautification and just some ideas that, you know, throughout the city. I'm taking a course starting this April from Michigan State, the Master Gardener Program. I've been just recently a member of the Grosse Pointe War Memorial, the Garden Center. And so I'm just hoping to be more involved with my community since I just love the city and where I've been, and not being working anymore. I just wanted to be still a part of my city. I love it, and I'm leaving.
Thanks, Diane.
Thank you.
Anyone else here who is considering?
Hi, I'm Kelly. I'm a Grosse Pointe Park resident. I've been a resident since 2006. And I'm really passionate about native plants for native insects. I run Detroit Butterfly Nursery with my daughter. So we do a lot of outreach and education that way. And I was excited to hear about the new sustainability committee, and just want to see how I could lend my expertise and knowledge.
Thank you. So I think ultimately, you know, the decision rests with the mayor, but she definitely consulted on that. We wanted to do that, you guys get a sense of how our meetings run and how everything sort of takes place. So welcome and thank you for your interest. It's heartening to know how many people are interested in our commission. So thank you. Correspondence, Brian, do we have any correspondence?
I don't, but actually I would like Diane to share correspondence that we all might be interested in.
Yes, coming up this February 8th, hosted by the Grosse Pointe Garden Center at the War Memorial. There is a lecture on growing more flowers. Jennifer Carey, she's a renowned author, lecturer, and gardener, and she's going to present a program on practical typical needs of floral gardening in the Grove Point areas. And it starts at 7 o'clock. It's $5. You can go on the website, Grove Point Garden Center, if you're interested. It's just something, you know, I just like to enhance, I just like how neighbors and people do things with color for their houses and homes and just you keep, you know, the whole ambiance of the city up.
Could we post that somewhere on our site or?
You can give that to me and I can electronically have it posted on our website.
And you can send it to all the commission members.
Okay.
Mhm.
Great.
An easy thing.
I think she has your email address too.
Perfect.
Well, I saw the hard copy. Do you have electronically too, or?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so no other correspondence we're aware of. How about publicity? Do you know? Anybody else come across any publicity?
Not that I know of.
Okay. New business, I'm gonna turn the floor over to Lisa. There's been some handouts passed out to you about sustainability. If you did not get a copy of them, I have them here. If anyone in the audience would like a copy of the sustainability document. That's what you do these days, because I can't get these. Thank you. I kind of put all upset everyone.
This one. You have that there. Or maybe Carolyn has.
Okay.
I think she probably does. I don't think. It has the other.
I just sent it off to the audience.
Can you get 2 copies, please? Not you, sir. I'm not making our guests. Say this to me. Yeah. Okay. So, as you know, we are transitioning the Sustainability Committee from the City Council to the Beautification Commission. I was actually thinking of the alignment form for mayor. Did we ever, I don't know if we ever did that, but we did discuss like
Yeah,
how
we
we were.
submitted one last year.
Okay, and we had talked at a meeting about really defining our goals
Yep.
and our vision for the sustainability
Yeah,
of,
we can adapt it.
okay, what we did for that. Okay, so I volunteered to chair the Sustainability Committee, but if anyone else wants to do it, like, that's fine too.
Thank you.
And what I did is, you have a handout that looks like this. I just drew up a proposed, this was brainstorming, nothing set in stone, but thinking of all of the things that we were doing through the commission, some of the things that Brian had done that he had been reporting to the commission, such as the Green Community Challenge, our pollinator garden support. I drew up a proposed structure for the Sustainability Committee. At the top, kind of just a quick list of things that need to be done, defining our mission, defining vision. You've also got this handout that was from 2019. These were the recommendations, kind of focused on sustainability, the recommendations of the commission to the planning commission when they were, what was that? They were
The master plan.
the master plan, exactly. So I thought that we could use that as a jumping off point to kind of define the mission and the vision of the Sustainability Committee. Right now, I think we have 3 committee members. Brian said he would serve Vikas, of course, who started the committee on the city council. And then we need some more commissioners.
I think we should also add residents, seats for residents to join us.
That's a good idea, so let me.
Yeah. And that could lead to potential future
So, we're not going to do anything today.
No, we'll meet together.
Right, we'll meet again, but I thought that everyone could review this, like until the next meeting. Maybe we have a lot of commissioners that are not here tonight. I could email this out to everyone and, ask who would be interested in sitting on the committee and helping us develop. Mhm.
Do we want to include in this, it would seem logical, our city's gardener, our city's master, and I believe her name is? I think she needs to know what's going on. And so I would make sure that she is a part of this.
I'll talk to Nick about that. I think that's a good idea.
It's not like we expect her to have, to do a lot of work, but we expect her to know what work we'd be doing, so she would know that she can focus on other things, because she does have her hands full, I know.
Right, so we're not duplicating efforts, we're stepping out.
Or when she
Right.
leaves areas covered that she can't manage, she'll let us know what those things are, yeah. I think
Which
it's
is-
a real good
yeah.
idea.
Which is part of the, adopted garden. Right. It will also
true.
the chair.
It's such.
Yeah, that's a great idea, really, to include her, because that way we can be clear where we're deliberately leaving milkweed growing for way stations for the monarch in the
Yeah,
parks.
that's
You know,
one of the
she's in charge of the gardening and weeding in both the parks, basically, so.
But all of the pollinator gardens are not her, domain? Like that one outside of City Hall.
That's correct.
That's not Corinne's.
No, that's a contractor.
Right.
It's the same with the pollinator garden at Berkshire and Jefferson.
Yes.
Both of those are subcontracted out. It used to be Southern Gardener.
Mhm.
They changed contractors, by the way.
They did.
Yeah, I meant to mention that at the last meeting, and I forgot or didn't have time. Backer Landscaping maintains the flower beds now along Jefferson and around City Hall and at Marks Park.
Oh, Mark's Park.
Marks Park is that little pocket park directly across from City Hall.
Oh, gotcha.
I did talk to them though, the head gardener there, and you know, make sure they realize that the milkweed here in front of City Hall, we're deliberately encouraging that to grow. And same at Berkshire and Jefferson. I met out in the field with the whole crew. So I wanted to make that real clear, that we didn't want those pulled.
And at some point or other, it would probably benefit the city and our commission to have some sort of a map that outlines.
We're working on that.
Everybody's gardens.
Yeah,
And I think
That's
that's
down there
not.
under, that's not under.
Oh, you've already got that.
Lisa's working on that,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be electronically using GIS. We're identifying every single city-owned, city responsibility
Maintained.
garden, no matter how small. So like, for example, in front of the UPS building at Weyburn and Kirchhoff, that's on city property. So preferably, we want to encourage the businesses like across Kirchhoff, hot yoga. They adopted their own garden, the city parcel, and it was the most beautiful little parcel on Kirchhoff. And if every business did that, it's in their best interest, that's preferable. But if they're not willing to do that, then we'll have to figure out how to maintain those.
Mhm. And also, we have some pollinator friends here today. One of the ideas I had was citizen science programs like Monarch Waste Stations, and we could have something where people could send in residents could send a snapshot of their pollinator gardens, and we could pop it on the map. People could just roll their mouse over and see, all of the pollinator gardens that people are creating in the city. So it's not a tricky thing to do. So,
Thanks for doing this. This is,
Absolutely, this is a great
fantastic.
idea.
oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's right in line of, I was thinking about asking if we could meet as sustainability.
Yeah.
To develop something like this, but you want to step ahead, so.
Well, this is just ideas.
Yeah, this
I
is
just
jumping
raised
off from
it.
here.
Yeah, and I kind of thought, okay, what's going on in the city? Like Brian was coordinating the whole Green Community Challenge, and I thought, what is everyone doing that could be folded in and
Yeah, because I went through my notes and found this as well, so it's really odd that I'm kind of thinking you were looking.
I was
looking at
thinking.
Big Brother.
when I was-
Yeah, it was like Facebook when you.
As you see, I put your name down.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Permission.
One thing-
Thank you.
Sorry, Lisa. One thing that Detroit Bloom does, which is not that far from us in Detroit, and that's another major project. But they have little, sort of like educational leaflets that they put in these boxes that could be available night and day.
Yeah.
And I think that would be an ideal thing for us to do. We can copy what they've done. And at the Monarch Way stations, we could have some information about just that.
I feel like our guests are probably gonna touch on.
Yeah.
They'll give us wings.
So,
Mhm.
Education.
That's right.
So I'm not going to go on and on, but I thought maybe over the next few weeks, the commissioners can review it, add their ideas, hopefully decide to sit on the committee. I'm looking right at Cheryl House.
She already said,
You,
she whispered saying she should be on this too.
yeah, definitely. And then we can maybe talk about it again in March.
Wonderful, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for all your work on this.
Oh, sure.
Appreciate it. And I know I went ahead and put adopt a garden, but I know it falls underneath this, so.
Oh, should I say?
No, I mean, I think, you gotta be covered with it.
Adopt a garden?
We're good.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we can go forward into that when we go more in depth. Forestry report, do you have one?
Yes, well, as I promised in our December meeting, the last time we met, that the 90 Trees for 90 Years project, which was a grant from the Grosse Pointe Farm and Garden Club. They subsidized the planting of 90 trees to commemorate their 90-year anniversary. Now this is for 3 Grosse Pointe communities, Grosse Pointe Park, the farms, and the city benefited. And we divided up the number of trees based on size of the city. So all 90 trees have been planted though. So that's 35 in Grosse Pointe Park. And what my promise was, they would be done by the end of the calendar year, because after all, this 2022 was their 90th anniversary.
Right.
Well, I tell you what, it was delay after delay at the nursery for various reasons. They're a very reputable nursery. There were legitimate delays. And then I had December, I was pretty much in the hospital, for heart reasons, and I had my total hip replacement. So it was really bad timing. But I was in communication with them on the phone the day after Christmas, right before we had some bad weather.
Yeah.
They finished planting
Oh, wow.
the 90 trees. So they really, I think, bent over backwards because we've been a good customer, Marine City Nursery in China Township, and they did a great job, went great. And everybody, a lot of happy people out there got some trees.
Good job.
That's impressive, that Boxing Day planting.
That's right.
It definitely was.
That's all, Kim.
Thank you. Any questions for Brian? Okay, we're gonna move into old business. We talked briefly about the beautification awards that occurred in November, and that we would review them. We talked a little bit and tossed around some ideas, but I wanted to do a more formal review tonight, just to kind of capture the things that we thought could be improved or things that we thought were particularly outstanding, so that we can make sure next year that's even better. And that we continue to offer the things that we thought were really good. So opening up the floor to comments, suggestions. I did open up to everyone else who could not be here except for Alicia, who I heard from a little late, but I'll get her suggestions as well.
I was thinking, as we design the walk up for the people to accept them, there's a little ramp there, and people want to take pictures. So I'm wondering if we can have a backdrop where they can come get their award and have a nice backdrop there.
That's a
Good idea.
Maybe
That's a
Grosse
real
Pointe
good
Park
idea.
beautification, something we can
Yes.
print and put up and give it a little space there so they can, I know, and it's no harping on anyone that designed the layout because it was awesome. And we had 35 more people than we thought. So it was a good
Yes,
process.
it
It was a
No,
good problem.
none of
to have.
this should be a, criticism of everyone.
Yeah.
This is all about making it
So
better,
that's the
so.
only thing I wanted
No,
to
I
say.
like that.
Yeah. And we talked about the presentation already, to trim that down and make it more pictures. And you can still, and I think you did a great job reading them off and controlling the flow of the show.
Well, in all things, the PowerPoint, bless Shelley's heart, and then Lisa, the next day, they managed to make some really old equipment work. And, yeah, no,
Yeah, that was intense.
we are indebted to both of you for all that work.
Thank you.
But I think we definitely want to make sure way ahead of time that we're on point with.
Well, we wanted.
Shelley's
When,
The equipment broke.
Right.
and then when we,
No, I know, it was the last minute thing, right?
It really was.
And then when we had 3 of them, that you could have moved the pictures.
Or when we had the power outage during
That's great.
And that, yeah, so that was.
I don't think anyone who attended would have known any of that.
Oh, no.
So.
But I would like to inquire if the city could be persuaded to buy some up-to-date equipment.
So you're talking about a projector?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Oh,
Well,
good.
we're gonna put it to the test because we have Black History Month starting today.
Yes.
And we're showing 2 movies in here. So they're gonna be using a projector as well. So we're gonna do some testing. You guys used your projector, Shelley, is that right?
Brian's.
Brian's projector.
Well, it started out with my laptop, then it went to Lisa's laptop with Brian's, where my laptop is synced into Brian's projector.
But her laptop broke, like right then and there, like.
Of course.
Right.
and Shelley's screen, by the way,
Oh,
so.
yeah, and then that's my
So-
screen.
So I'm
Oh, right,
part of the
that's great.
the community engagement committee that's running these movies with Brian Brenner and Michelle Hodges. So we'll be testing it out here at the city's projector.
That's wonderful.
I'll see what it's like and then we can, if
So
it's,
have you already acquired it?
they have it. They have a projector.
Oh.
That's what we're gonna see. That's what I
When
heard.
they use the projector here, is there a screen already?
We're still trying to determine where we're gonna show.
So
the
maybe you
film.
can add a screen or something.
Yeah, a screen and I used to have a screen before the floods.
Oh, not anymore.
Yeah, and I have an older projector too that works, but we can upgrade that stuff. I think we need to have it on hand for the city so we can borrow it for our event.
It's kind of critical. And I know you can get both of those things. We bought for Keep Michigan Beautiful, a beautiful projector and a screen, and that's all up to date because some programs don't run on these old projectors. But all that came to under $1,000.
Well, and I would imagine for the
And
Tompkins
it's
Center,
all up to date.
I would
It's
imagine for the
beautiful.
Tompkins Center, you have people who have graduation parties that have
They can rent it.
So that's the thing.
showers, they have, sometimes
That's true.
wakes, things like that, where they're gonna wanna run,
It'd be a great amenity to add.
right?
Yeah, to have it installed on the ceiling and have a little port on the wall you just plug into.
That would be even nicer.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
And that just costs a little bit more.
Okay.
Okay, I'll talk to Nick about that and then I'll correspond back.
I mean, if not, we've got backup, but it certainly would be nice, and I think it would be a good event.
Yeah.
Good point, thank you. Anything else that anyone can think of? Food was amazing.
It sure was.
Yes.
And the residents appreciated it.
Yes.
I think
A number of guests came up to me and told me they were so thankful that we had the food they hadn't eaten, or one lady said she had sports or something with her kids after school and she hadn't had anything to eat.
Best meal she's had in a while,
Right.
cooked by somebody else.
The one thing I got questions about over and over again, it might be nice to include next year, we have the picture that we give them and everything. Everyone seemed to really like the write-ups that all of you did. So to have that maybe printed in a nice way to include with the frame, right? Even just to have,
And
would
you
be
know,
nice.
Did we talk about that? When did we talk about that? At the last meeting when we talked about having the PowerPoint for the presentation, only include the photos. And then I was thinking, okay, for the, we could have a second version with the descriptions
website.
for the website. But then I thought we should print up a really nice, high quality, some document or sheet of the descriptions and give them to all of the guests
Yes.
with their program. But something nice that they would want to,
Commemorate, keep.
You
know,
almost could put it
frame, I don't
with
know,
the
what-
program,
not-
but
Hmm?
you could almost put it right in the program
we could put
itself.
it in the program. Mhm.
It'll just add a few more pages, but
Mhm. Sure.
then you're not handing out a bunch of
A
separate
bunch of
papers.
things.
That's very true.
Right, so we could do that.
We have a subcommittee for that event,
We really don't, but I think we will this year.
okay, so they can finalize that
Yeah.
design.
So like
See
before
what's
we
best
started
for
putting
printing.
the descriptions in, we used to have a picture of the front and then one for each side. And then so every house had 3 pictures.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So it wasn't just,
Yeah,
we used to do that, and then we took out the other 2 pictures.
3 pictures.
We took out the other,
yeah, the other
so
two.
this year,
Yeah.
I tried to get like a
I
couple
know
other
I've seen
pictures
some of
in
them, I
there,
thought
and
maybe-
but I couldn't get every house
No, exactly.
Right.
that had.
And we're doing this as volunteers, so it's,
I mean, I had
Some
the
of these
pictures.
pretty well
but
organized
because
for
they
going through the
Yeah.
volunteer
At that
process.
time, if you remember, the access to Roger Garrett's staff that did a lot of
Yes, we
that
did.
for us. And they were,
What?
you provided the pictures, they put them in more than
Oh,
once.
but he only used one picture.
No, some of them have more than one picture. Some of
In a
those were,
frame.
yeah, yep.
I only,
Yeah, I've seen them. I forget which one I saw. It's several years ago. I saw it recently. They had more than one picture. I don't propose we do that.
I handed out the other pictures.
Right, the extra
Oh, the
photo.
extra,
I
Right,
gave
right, right,
the
right.
other, so the one photo, the front photo went into
Okay,
the
that's
frame.
nice.
And then the 2 side views, those I handed out to each resident.
Award winner.
At the ends, like when they would come up and they walked by, I
That
would
was
hand them their
nice,
extra
yeah.
pictures.
Well, what are we gonna do?
Right, and they want them, so it was a kind thing.
Perfect.
How do we feel about the length of the program? Did we like just having pretty much one person talking, or do we wanna go back to splitting up the
No.
areas?
I like one person.
One person.
Yeah.
It's too frenetic when you've got people going
Yeah.
back and forth.
It opens up to
I
something
didn't like
slipping
that.
and getting messed up. You did really good.
You were amazing.
You
Keep
deserve
going.
it.
Just reading, that was just reading.
That's your punishment.
She was too good, yeah.
I can take that punishment, that's fine. Anything else we can think of that we'd like to improve or that you really, really liked for next year?
I've done things when people say that the door handing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the signs were so fun,
Yes, I love that.
and the wine was good.
You're welcome.
That's what I wanted, a really good mood at the end of the night. Dance around with their signs on their head.
Little did I know I needed at least another half case, but,
And everybody did drop off the stuff at the cities, right? Yeah, they did. All the extra food.
oh, yes.
Oh, we
Yes,
did.
Yes, that was on
We
our
did.
Oh,
That was the next
I think they were
thing.
very
Oh, yeah.
happy.
Nothing was wasted.
No, it's
Yeah,
not.
that's good.
Oh, to the police stations.
Yes.
Yes.
I was thinking the next day of the other way.
If anyone thinks of anything later, just email me and we'll make sure that when we go to do this again, that we have fresh ideas written down and we don't forget, it's easy to get back to September, October and forget all the things that we thought, oh, maybe we should change that or do this. I just wanted to kind of get it while it's sort of fresh in our minds, it still is 3 months after. But BC SEM December quarterly meeting, I just wanted to be able to talk about first, my deepest apologies for so sick.
You were sick.
So
There were
sick.
several people. One of our speakers was sick.
Oh,
Lisa was occupied with another matter. It was just one thing after the other that day. I had a call from somebody that couldn't find the place. I mean, it went on and on. But regardless, we had a spectacular meeting.
Heard it was today.
The tables look absolutely stunning. Grosse Pointe City was a wonderful co-host with us.
They were great to work with.
Great to
They
work
really
with.
were, yeah.
And so, not only that, we had fabulous food from the Polish Village Cafe. And people enjoyed that. And you know what? We worked so carefully on the budget that we ended up making money.
Wow, isn't that kind of unheard of?
That is kind of unheard of. Actually, if we hadn't had the raffle, we would not have made money. But regardless, we did have the raffle and we made money. And there was an extra $200 and some left. And the decision was made by both their city and our city to donate that money to the city of Grosse Pointe Park because they had not, they didn't charge us for any of the use of the facilities. And if we'd had to go anywhere else, we would have had to pay. So I'm grateful that the tablecloths arrived. It was a little bit of a hectic scene with those tablecloths that we had our friends. They do wash up beautifully. So, all of these things worked together really, really well. And that's the most money we have ever taken in on a raffle, $406 just on a raffle. So that was
I have to
great.
say another thank you to Tim because he had a lot of food left. And he managed to make arrangements with the Capuchins and took everything there and delivered it himself.
Oh, fantastic.
Thank you.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, they were.
I've never driven that slow down Jefferson.
So much food in the back.
I was there any food left?
Yeah.
If any of you have any suggestions or comments that are, would be helpful for doing another time, I will tell you, I would gladly do it another time in the city of Grosse Pointe City.
They were delightful.
Their chairman, Susan Lucas, and all people that are on that committee were absolutely wonderful to work with. And they felt the same about us. It was a little mutual admiration there. And frankly, it made the job so much easier when two cities.
Yes, very much so.
So we're being filmed right now, but can everyone who worked on that committee raise their hand?
I didn't know everyone but
Who worked on this committee to make this happen?
Alicia.
I know Alicia did as well, so please, thank you very much.
Lisa, Shelley.
I just did the name tags.
No,
You did something for the.
I just got the,
That's
I just donated.
yeah.
You donated. Well,
did a
thank you
lot.
very much.
I thank
You did
everybody.
us proud, so thank you very much.
How does that compare with the other ones you've been to?
Well, we've been to some pretty spectacular
Okay.
quarterly meetings.
I think you guys put
This
together
was
a pretty
very,
good show.
very nice.
Yeah.
One of the things we try not to do is showcase in such a way that other cities are so intimidated that they won't want to host a meeting. And that's a real problem. You don't want to do something so elaborate and
Yeah.
fancy that no other city is willing to do it. So, no, this was absolutely stunning. But a lot of what we did on our own. We didn't pay for centerpieces and all the other things. There were a lot of ways to save
Well,
money.
and the Tompkins is.
It was beautiful.
That's really nice.
That's
They
a
will come on
huge
too.
plus.
Between the way the Tompkins Center was decorated and the additional things that we had.
And the fact that they turned it around so quickly from our meeting to the next day, that was.
Oh, yeah.
They don't usually.
They really did.
Really,
Good
so.
work.
Yeah.
I was blown away when I walked in. I was like, this is great. And it was all, like you said, volunteer driven and
Yeah.
table settings and just the ambiance was great.
We've had a lot of communities who have done a decent job.
I can't believe we thought about doing it after Northville, because that was pretty.
Northville was pretty spectacular.
It was.
Bigger budget.
Not really, they just, well, they had the whole Victorian theme to run with, so that's pretty.
But they didn't have to pay for the facilities.
Okay,
If you
that's
don't have to pay for renting a hall or something like that, it makes a huge difference.
Right.
And if you don't have to pay for speakers, it makes a huge difference. We've had communities that have hosted, that have had to pay for the facility, the speaker, and they've rented silverware and other stuff. Well, they've just way overspent the budget. It's tough. We
Well,
don't,
thank
we
you
don't want to have communities faced with that kind of problem.
No communities can afford that right now, right? Well, thank you very much, everyone, for your efforts.
Thank you,
You made us look
everyone here.
fantastic,
For
so,
pitching in so beautifully.
I have to run.
okay, enjoy, best.
Very good job. Good to see you all again. Thanks
Good to
for all
see
you
you
guys
too.
do for the city. I'll touch base with you, Kim, after to get some more.
Sounds great, okay, thanks. I'm gonna pass it back to you again, Pat, because you're the holiday awards,
All
so.
right, and let me get my report ready for that. I want to say thank you to everyone who got their award nominations in. Most grateful to have them in a timely fashion. We had 71 nominees. Of those, 2 of them were houses that had double addresses. So it's kind of like having 73 instead of 71. But anyway, Area 1 had 20, Area 2, 12, Area 3, 11, Area 4, 13, Area 5, 15, and Area 3 and Area 1 had some agreement together to allow Area 1 to have more awards, because normally we're only limited to a maximum of 15 per area. So I do think you'd like to see what the certificate looks like and what the mailing envelope looks like. This is what the envelope looks like, and then the certificate, this is just a sample. I will pass it around and you can take a look. And in order to prepare the certificates, I'll tell you what, we not only need to compile all the information of, the names of the winners in the area and so on. We really need to double check that, and then we get the certificates. And Barbara is usually the one who has actually done the certificates on the computer. We do this all at home. And, that works out pretty well. We've done it on my computer sometimes, we've done it on her computer sometimes. But after that's all prepared, we have to put the seal on there, the city seal. And this year we ran out of these seals. The last time we ordered them, we had enough for about 5 years. And thank you to Brian, who assisted us in ordering the new seals. It's not cheap. We ordered 500 seals for approximately $180, I think. But very nice. It's the seal is unique to our Beautification Commission. So then, we have 3 different stickers we put on these envelopes. One is the return address sticker, one is the careful, do not bend, and the other one is the actual address to the award winner. That's a lot of work. You might not think so, but it takes time to do all these. First, we print them up,
Awards.
and then we actually put them on the envelope. So that takes a bit of work, but the city does not have an envelope that's the right size to put these in. And we buy the heaviest weight certificate that we can, so that we don't have to put extra cardboard in the envelope in order to mail them. And then, of course, we have to put them stuffed, and you'd be surprised the number of mistakes we make. Sometimes we get them in the wrong envelope. Sometimes we're so busy, I may read the address and Barbara types it in, and we have made mistakes, let me tell you. So there's a fudge factor here. And sometimes it's just really innocent, but you transpose numbers or what have you. When you're dealing with that many numbers, it's easy to have something like that happen. And then in order to do the project, we also have to order all the things, the envelopes and so on, the ink cartridges. We have not charged the city for any ink cartridges in years. We decided, as expensive as ink cartridges are now, we were going to ask for reimbursement. And that'll last for a couple of years. It's not like it's all off in 1 year. But anyway, you might like to know what it cost to do the whole thing. These certificates cost 83 cents each. And as I said, we can buy cheaper certificates. They're just on thin paper. They wouldn't look very impressive. And the commission seal that we ordered. We have enough now for 5 years, but they cost 37 cents each. The labels, all three of the labels together cost 57 cents, 19 cents per label times three. And again, we bought a bunch of them. The envelopes are 26 cents each and the postage was $1.44. So for $3.47 per certificate, you made a lot of people happy. It comes to about $250. So it's actually a small investment in the goodwill of the community, and people are so thrilled when they get these, and they should be, because they've done a lot of hard work, not only to make themselves look good, but they make our city look good. And we are considering another year, maybe we can find a way to get these envelopes printed with the return address and the do not bend thing already on there.
I don't see why we couldn't price that out to see if.
If it isn't too expensive, because we didn't buy a ton of envelopes this year, thinking we might look into that. But
I think
that's
that's a
something
good
for the
idea.
summer when we don't have other things on the agenda. And, so I'm very pleased with the way it all went, and I'm especially grateful to all of you for doing your looking. Let's hope we got the addresses right. We have been known to make mistakes, everybody, so if we have an error, we'll correct it, but yeah, it works very well. And we mailed them out about a week and a half ago or so.
I saw quite a few posted on Facebook.
Yep.
They're very proud of them.
They are, and isn't that nice to know people are proud enough that they'll post it on Facebook?
That's nice.
So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you and for our vote on their hard work on that. Okay, any other old business? Okay, so time for public comments. I know we have one kind of scheduled and then we have another guest as well. So we're going to start with our friends about the Monarch Challenge.
I think Kelly will speak.
Yes.
Oh, sure. Hello. No, thank you so much for having us here tonight. So, so basically we have been talking about the Mayor's Monarch Quest, which I know that in the past that the committee has worked on. Brian and Lisa, you have been involved in it. And currently Grosse Pointe Park is not listed as like a current pledge because it needs to be renewed each year. And just to give you a little bit of background about it, so there's a series of action items. You can find this all on the website, the National Wildlife Federation website. And Lisa was kind enough to print this out for us as well, kind of just to let us know what things you've worked on in the past. But basically the commitment is 3 of these action items need to be done per year. And a lot of them you're already doing.
Right.
Yeah, if you want to pass it around. So for example, the mayor would issue a proclamation to raise awareness. And we already, from my understanding, we already have one of those that we can just do again. A lot of it is engaging with community groups. That's another action on here, but both Sabina and I already are doing a lot of those things as well. So our main thing was that I know our mayor has expressed interest in signing it again. And we came here tonight to just, talk with you about it and see how we could help get that going. Through a series of email exchanges with Lisa and the mayor, we found that there is interest. So we basically just came tonight to present it again and see. We found out about the new sustainability committee, which has a lot of ties to it, right? As well. So we love hearing about all the new plans for the pollinator gardens, and we think that we could lend a hand to help make this happen.
Oh, great.
Hey, Kelly, so you live in Grosse Pointe Park?
I do, yes.
Okay. I thought Rochester.
There was a bit of confusion.
There was confusion. So
Yeah.
part of my work, so I'm an outdoor educator, but I mentioned Detroit Butterfly Nursery, so we do a lot of education and outreach. And last year I partnered with Rochester Pollinators, And they are a subcommittee of their beautification committee for the city, if you haven't heard of them. So I've seen all of the amazing work that they've done to make a difference in their communities, and I thought, man, we should be doing that. It would be great if Grosse Pointe Park could do something like that. They've been totally inspiring, making small changes that make a huge difference. And through my work with, I also partner with the Grosse Pointe Library for outdoor programming. And through my work there, I've seen so much interest from the community members and residents. They want to do these things. They want to get involved. They don't know, they want to have a pollinator garden in their backyard, but they don't know how to get started. And that's kind of been my mission, is to get those resources into their hands. How to get and this, I'm talking all ages too. There's so much possibility here with getting the schools involved. There's so much citizen science out there, all these different projects aside from the way station as well. So yeah, lots of potential here.
Well, I just wanted to speak on this for a moment. I appreciate you coming in, and we've talked before.
Yes.
Both of you. And, we already did it. So, and we are currently listed in a leadership circle in southeastern Michigan. We're the only community listed by the mayor's monarch pledge in the leadership circle. And when I went through this, and Lisa was a big help, when Mayor Denner asked us to pursue this, it was a lot of work, a lot of paperwork.
Oh, yeah.
So we don't want to, this is from my perspective. I really don't want to recheck all the boxes that we did an enormous amount. Even Denner commented how much paperwork and follow-up this was. It was very time consuming. We did it, and we're in the leadership circle forever. And we want to move on. We have these other projects that's going to involve pollinator gardens, such as our sustainability committee. And we're really active in the Michigan Green Community Challenge. And presently we're on the bronze level. And for 2022, we want to be recognized on the silver level. And then for 2023, the gold. And that's going to require a lot of paperwork, and it's going to include pollinator gardens and monarch butterflies. So I don't want to redo something we already did personally.
I'm sorry, are you, okay. So when you say that we've already did this, so there's 29 different actions on here as well. So this was part of coming here tonight to talk to Lisa too, and find out what are the different action items that you did. And I'm not familiar with the leadership circle when you reference that. I wonder if the program has changed since then, because
I think it has.
I
think it's much simpler.
it's much, it is so much simpler. From what I've
that.
talked about with Rochester Pollinators, they have been doing this. And each year you do need to re-sign up, but it's really 3 simple actions, and it can be some of the same ones that you're already doing. It's just kind of when I think about, I hear you saying you don't want any extra work, we don't want to create any extra work
Well,
for you, for
unless
sure.
I don't mind work. I don't mind extra work. I don't want to do unnecessary work. So this mayor's monarch pledge is based on a point system. And one of the major reasons why we were granted in the leadership circles, we got a lot of points for doing something major. It was, we changed legislation.
I remember talking with you about that.
Previously, milkweed was on the noxious weed list. It was illegal to have milkweed. And you should see her front yard is, it's all milkweed now. We had to go through the process. We had to go through city council because we changed the law, changed an ordinance, which we made milkweed, which I think is poorly named. If it was called milk plant, maybe people wouldn't be prejudiced against it.
All the most amazing native plants have weed after the name, so,
But let me continue. Some of these action items, I talked to the city manager about regarding the mowing,
So we went over that.
So, we're not, we did talk about that, and we're just saying that this is something that would only add to your sustainability community in terms of being able to say our current mayor is interested in, she has expressed a lot of interest in taking this pledge. And so, I know that there's just from the interest in the community and from us and other members that you know, we're saying to you, like, we want to help you with this, and it would just make Grosse Pointe Park, they would just be like, well, we have the mayor pledge right now. We don't. I mean, you're saying we have this leadership circle, but when you look on the website, it lists as a past, and it has Mayor Denner. It doesn't have our current mayor's name, you know, Michelle, on there.
That's how the page is designed. Like when you go to the website, you can look and see the signatories of
Yeah.
all of the cities that are currently engaged in, you know, completing their pledge. And it lists the mayor of each city. Because we're not actively involved in a pledge, we are on a map of cities who have completed the pledge. And are you sure that we're the only city that's listed in the leadership circle?
Well, in this area.
Oh, in this area. Okay, so you're concerned that we would lose our,
I don't want to lose,
Leadership
right, I want to just stay
status.
there. I don't want to lose it and have to redo the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the leadership circle, so.
maybe we should find out more about it.
Yeah, it just seems like, I understand your concern, like, oh my gosh, we did all this work, like, I don't want to lose this, I don't want to like step down and be like, well, we do the pledge too, but I'm kind of looking at it as like, this is just another thing that we can say like, oh yeah, we have, you know, our mayor, our new mayor, like has signed the pledge. We're still engaging the community about, you know, and doing all these things. And really the pledge itself, it just kind of acts as like a guideline of, you know, and you don't have to really, you pick 3 things.
It is different.
One of them has to be the program and demonstration gardens area, but number 10 here, it says host a native seed or plant sale, giveaway or swap. You guys are doing that 2 times a year already. You know, engage with community garden groups, like I mentioned before, the presentations, like literally, like as of right now, you are doing this, and all it would take would be the mayor to actually go in and sign it and fill out the form, and if
There was a lot more to it last time.
Yeah.
It took hours and hours that we want to devote to new projects now.
wow. No,
Okay,
I
so let's,
understand.
why don't we
Research the
this a
leadership
little
circle
bit
part,
and
but then also,
reconvene on
does this seem like it's something, just the re-education and putting forth the idea of it, not the actual pledge itself, but sure, all of it, does that kind of fit under sustainability?
It does,
Yeah.
yes.
So,
I mean,
I mean, we have,
everything
we
on
have
here.
pollinator gardens right on the,
Right.
so let's,
It sounds like there's some confusion that you're obligated to renew your membership every year for every new mayor.
Right.
no.
You're not obligated, you just, you sign it every year, you're given a full year to complete 3 tasks.
Yeah.
And basically at the end of the year, you report what you did.
Is there a cost every time you
No,
renew?
there's no
There's no
Okay.
cost at
There's no
all,
cost.
That's
other
nice.
than the
other than sweat
expenses
equity.
that you put into running your events and
Right,
things like
right.
that. There's no-
Which a lot of the things were,
And if I can chime in too, I think it's also a great PR tool for the city and just, you know, citizen, residents awareness, just to, you know, because I didn't know, I mean, prior to getting into this conversation, I had no idea that our city had done that. And I think, you know, there's more and more awareness every year about, you know, native plants and how we need, you know, and it's not only monarchs, it's, you know, obviously if you help the monarchs, you help the bees and the birds and everything. So it's just,
I feel like
it's like prime time to really do more. And that's how we are communicating for is.
I feel like you have a different audience now than you probably did when you guys originally
I
did the
think so.
pledge. So just to revitalize it a little bit in whatever way that takes on.
Yeah, so Pat is trying to.
Well, I just wanted to comment, because you say people this and whatnot. That's one of the reasons that Beautification Council of Southeastern Michigan speakers and events. And in fact, at our last meeting here in Grosse Pointe Park, we had Maud Lyons speak. I don't know if you're familiar with Maud, but she's absolutely amazing. And she spoke on, you know, the native plants and insects restoring balance and beauty. And so there are a variety of avenues that people do learn about these things. And Yeah, I just wanted to throw a little pitch in there for that organization and Keep Michigan Beautiful, because that education is part of their mission as well.
Absolutely. I think
So you're concerned about doing a lot of paperwork and all of that simply to check off boxes that we're already completing and not doing anything new? And you're concerned about losing the leadership status?
Right.
I do, so why don't we like step back and the program that there, I have not researched what it takes to do the program since we did the program. It sounds a lot more streamlined from what you're telling me you saw online than what we did. Like, I think you had to complete a minimum of 8 items, I believe, when we started, to complete the pledge. And it was definitely a 2-year commitment, not a 1-year commitment.
Yeah, it definitely sounds a lot.
And the Mayor Denner did complain about all of the emails and the forms that we had to do.
I wonder if
Yeah.
they streamlined it just because like that,
Because of
making it
that.
such a huge process. It
Nobody's
deters people
signing
from
up
wanting
for
to do that, right? So, oh gosh, I gotta jump through all these hoops, like, no, thank you.
Okay. So do you, and you got,
And we're very we're very familiar with it, with the pledge, and especially like with my connection with Rochester Pioneers, because they've actually done all of the items. They're the one of only like 3 cities in the country that have done like the entire
everything.
list. It's definitely
A lot of outreach too.
yeah, and what I really like too is the education piece that they do, like the signage that they have. And Marilyn, who's the founder of Rochester Pollinators, I've been working closely with her, and she has shared all of, I actually brought some pamphlets just so you can see what they've done. Yeah. Here, I'll just, and then you can pass them down. And she has like given, I mean, this is what I pass out at all my events. Like, she's like, why recreate the wheel? Like, here's all the stuff we use. Like, you know, she, you know, and it's just about educating, because I think once people realize how, you know, so like they have the problem and the reason, you know, it's just very straightforward. Why pollinators are being threatened and the benefits of native plants and things like that. And once people, you know, so we have this kind of stuff out at the events that we do. And once people see that, they're like, oh man. And I think the biggest question that I get personally is like, where can I buy these native plants? Like, where are they? Because our nurseries they're not selling this stuff. You know, you can't just go up to like a regular nursery and buy native plants. Unfortunately, not at this point. So you know, if Grosse Pointe Park, if there was, you know, like even just on the website, like resources listed there, you know, that could be an action item. And I'd be happy to give you guys the information that I know and just to get that into the hands of our community members.
You said you have a partnership with the library. Do you know, does their seed catalog include some of this?
Yes, and I'm blanking on her name but we're doing a winter seed sowing event on Saturday.
Okay.
There. So I do, I work with Melissa and Annie over there, the youth librarian and outreach librarians, and we launched 1,000 Hours Outside programming this last year. So if you're not familiar with 1,000 Hours Outside, it's basically encouraging families to match their screen time with green time and spend more time outdoors.
Wow, screen time.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually we're presenting in the spring to the Michigan Library Association to help other libraries bring this program to their library. So we're really excited about it. But anyway, yeah, I've been trying to work with them with the seed library and things like that to give, because right now their seed library is actually closed.
Right.
And I was like, well, what about the people that are winter sowing? Because like, if you're not familiar with winter sowing, you know, most of our native plants, including milkweed, need that cold stratification process.
You don't realize you can put the seeds just right outside.
Because
Like,
that's
what they
nature, like that's what it does.
They put them in the fridge and I'm like,
I
okay.
harvest mine, put them in jars and put them outside on my deck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or put them on
Yeah,
the
so-
ground where it's going to grow.
So Melissa has been coordinating with the person who runs the seed library. I know that the woman that was in charge of it retired just in the last couple years. So it's been kind of a hard transition for them because that does take a lot of time to keep that up. I'm not sure what they're doing right now, but yeah, I do have connections with them.
Okay, well, how about I will find out about the leadership circle thing. Okay, and then we can take a look and I know I've been a little bit inaccessible the last couple of weeks, but
That's okay.
I'll give you guys my card, my cell phone, and we can see how what we can sort out. Does that, Kim, does
I
that
think
sound
that
good?
sounds fantastic.
And I'll find out about the leadership circle. Like, I agree, like, I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
kind of want to lose, but let me find out about it.
I
I'll find
can't
out.
imagine that we would like lose it. I don't know, we wanna make sure that we don't, obviously,
Okay.
but, yeah, that would be.
Yeah, just about the idea of, all of this in general, my mind's spinning, like, at the exchange, the climate exchange program, have we ever had like a offshoot speaker before, like?
No, we've never had.
We've given away milkweed seeds.
But we can feature
Yeah.
you speaking, in a small area for something like that.
We've had not presenters, but.
Master
Tables.
gardeners
Yeah.
available for questions.
Sure.
And Roger used to do a composting station. I never,
Demonstration.
demonstration?
Yeah.
Roger at the Perennial Exchange?
Yes, yeah, he did that
Yeah.
this past, but we can expand it to have.
Yeah, I mean, so we've done things like that at the Perennial
Just sort of
Exchange.
spooling in my head of what we can do.
Okay.
Absolutely, and we're, and I'm excited to hear when you guys were talking about the new committee, like that you were opening it to residents, because
Yes.
we definitely would be interested.
Well, I think
I put,
2 residents.
yeah, and I did submit my application for the commission as well. But either way, I'd love to be involved somehow.
Okay.
And we don't, I just want to reiterate that we don't want to create any extra work for any of you, and we really appreciate like all the hard work you guys did. Like, I know it was not easy,
intense.
however many years ago, what was it, 2017? Like, native plants were not as out there, so that was like really pioneering, like, for that to be happening, because
It really has.
and to be fighting for that at that time.
Maybe
It's
5
not
years,
as much.
do you think? Yeah,
Yeah, it's really like become more
it
common now.
really is.
Yeah, which is great. This is what
It
we
is,
want, right?
It's easy too, because you can actually go on a couple of different websites, put in your zip code, and you can get a whole list of everything that's
Native
native.
plant finder, yeah.
But a lot of people, you really don't think to do that. I don't know. Again, that's community and resident education and
Right,
public
yeah.
outreach that's needed
Right.
to do that. Yeah. Okay, I'll work on the leadership circle
Okay.
and
Thank you so
I'll give you
much.
my cell and everything before we leave, so we can talk.
And don't forget both of them for the sustainability committee.
Okay, I won't forget them.
I know, we're like, hey, Lisa, hey, Lisa.
Do we have any other public comments?
I'll just introduce myself. I'm Chip Owen. I'm a longtime resident and here just to listen and learn and I want to say thank you for all the work you all do. And Brian and Michelle were introduced to me by close friend, Councilman Marty McMillan. And they heard an idea that I am developing, and were really terrific and helpful with encouragement and some advisement. So at some point, my intent is to come here and present a concept with you that I think could perhaps help our community. Although we have just a fantastic canopy here of trees. I'm passionate about trees, and very fortunate for the work you guys all do to take care of us with the green. So thank you, and more to come at another day.
Thanks, thank you, hope to see you again. Is there any other business that we need to discuss? Any other public comments?
Not that I can think of.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
For a second? Any seconds? Everyone? Yeah, Cheryl second. Anyone in favor? Oh, who's in favor? Sorry. It's out of my mouth. All in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed? I didn't think so. We are adjourned. If our guests could sign our little board, Lisa, will you throw that on the lectern?
Oh,
Could you also put your names too?
oh, for the guests. Submit the application at City Hall.
Brian had it.
I have it with me tonight.
Oh,
You can give it to me.
I was like, where do I?
I sent them out.
All right, yes, thank you so much. It was so nice to see you.
Same here.
Then we have your sustainability.
Oh, yes.